Alright folks, now on paper, or at least on the preview page, this is not a small conceptual S-tank design by the Germans. It is the Kampfpanzer III Projekt 07HK, upcoming Tier 9 token tank for Battle Pass in 2023, along with the 𝘍𝗵𝟐, but this thing is almost as tall as a heavy tank. Holy crap, it is certainly wider than the 𝘍𝗵. That is insane. So either the aspect ratio is off in this picture, or this is a large boy. A large S-tank design. So it's only a paper tank, no prototypes were built. Two 20mm autocannons were added along with a coaxial MG34 in a remote controlled mini turret in the back, but larger area or larger mass to this vehicle means artillery shell will have a better time against this vehicle if you do get spotted, so don't get spotted. But I wish we could use the secondary armaments like the autocannons on different vehicles. We cannot. Stupid design, but whatever. You could shoot the tires off, EBRs, and then finish it off with the 105, but can't have fun. You can never have fun in World of Tanks. Not a bad looking vehicle, but it is certainly pretty large compared to S-tank standards, especially with the 𝘍𝘪𝘴𝘩 Stridsvorden, which is a UDES practically, but that's a MG34 in the front. Little bit, right? So, cannot use secondary guns on this vehicle. That's unfortunate, but kinda also looks like the 𝘚𝘢𝘦𝘥𝘪𝘴𝘩 Jagdpanzer, except it's a little bit wider. Yeah, definitely. So compare the size to a 𝘍𝗵𝟐, yeah, I can see it's almost just as tall. Almost, but it's mostly the width of the vehicle. Yeah, it's wider. It is certainly wider. I mean, holy crap, that's a large chassis for a S-tank. I mean, compare it to the 𝘍𝘪𝘴𝘩 Stridsvorden. Yeah, it's almost double the size, practically. Oh, I mean, holy crap. Alright, let's take a look at the modules. 105mm. Yep, it's not an autoloader, so no specialty, but DPM is high. So it's like with the Kunstpanzer, practically. Crew of 3 doesn't really fit training of the German TDs. You're missing a gunner, you're missing a loader, or sometimes two loaders for that matter, but missing out on module damage with the gunner, missing out on intuition perk or safe stowage, and missing out bursting arms as well. Kind of weird given the German aspect of the tank destroyers. Yeah, pretty weird. It's missing the infinite large repair kit for battle pass vehicles. It'll be there. But let's take a look at the actual firepower of the gun. So 105mm, DPM is high, 3200 with a 100% crew. Now accuracy is not that good for a 105mm, at tier 9 especially, and same goes for the aim time, 2.6, which is a little bit longer than what I would like, but you could move the gun about with the gun depression and elevation without moving the actual vehicle hull, or going into siege mode. You kind of move it to the sides though, so it's a little bit fixed, like the UDES 03 at tier 8, or with a 𝘍𝘪𝘴𝘩 Stridsvorden for that matter, but gun depression of 12 without going to siege mode, 20 for elevation, and you can move the gun at about 16 degrees per second, which is okay. I mean, it's not moving the hull at 16, otherwise that would suck. But yeah, reloads every 6.2 seconds with a rammer, so DPM is high, but this is non-siege mode. So you're going against your intuition or your instincts of playing this vehicle without going into siege mode. So let's take a look at the shell, and then we'll take a look at the siege mode. But APCR for standard, shell velocity is high, which is good. Penetration could be better. It's no S-tank like 300mm of pen, and no 390 alpha for the gun, so it's okay. I mean, high explosive anti-tank is 320, and velocity of the high explosive anti-tank is only 1000 meters per second, so a little bit slower than what you would like. high explosive is actually not half bad in terms of penetration. Now, it could be a HESH round, it could be a HEP round, but shell velocity for the high explosive is also pretty decent. Oh, I mean, could switch, but you don't have intuition perk. Unless you train it on the radio operator, so you cannot switch immediately to a high explosive round when you're loading APCR, so that's a bummer. You're getting a good high explosive round, you cannot use it quickly enough. Unfortunate. So let's take a look at dispersion and actual siege mode of this vehicle. So non-siege mode, dispersion factor is actually pretty decent, so you can move the vehicle about without worry about the bloom of the gun. Now, you don't have the accuracy of the S tanks or the aim time, but you have the DPM. A lot of DPM. So compare this to a S tank, say STRV-103. Yeah, you have the DPM, but yeah, they're not in siege mode. They're not as accurate. Yeah, they're not as accurate, or they cannot even move the gun about without going to siege mode. So we'll trigger the siege mode, and they have the same DPM, but about, well, less DPM by 400, but they have better aim time, better accuracy while in siege mode. But you get the benefit of actually moving your vehicle and running away when needed. So yeah, it's kind of like the 𝘎𝘦𝘮𝘮𝘮 when you think about it. Really like the 𝘎𝘦𝘮𝘮𝘮. So you get worse DPM not in siege mode than not in siege mode. So going into siege mode, you have 1000 less DPM. You have better accuracy for sure, and better aim time for sure, but DPM gets cut by 1000. Top speed gets cut, and reverse speed gets cut. Dispersion factor is more garbage, so don't move the hull if you're trying to shoot. I mean, holy crap, for that accuracy buff, you're cutting a lot of the DPM, a whole lot. So might as well play this vehicle not in siege mode. I mean, in siege mode you get 3 plus 9. I thought it was 12 basic. No, it's 3 plus 9. Never mind. So you only get 3 degrees of gun depression. I mean, still better than 0. You can still move the gun about, but 12 degrees of gun depression, that's fine. Yeah, holy crap, for that accuracy and that aim time, you're trading a lot. A hell of a lot. So compare this to the 𝘎𝘦𝘮𝘮𝘮𝘮, which is a medium tank with siege mode. And the year prior, Battle Pass tank. Yeah, you have more DPM. That's good. Better accuracy in non-siege mode. Better dispersion factor while moving the vehicle. Not with the turret. You don't have a turret. And you have better horsepower per ton ratio, slightly. And the same top speed, but better reverse. Terrain resistance is not as good. Oof. You carry more rounds. They cost about the same, with the same shell velocity, almost. So this is practically, if you want to play the 𝘎𝘦𝘮𝘮𝘮𝘮, if you don't want to have the turret, for better accuracy and better DPM. Practically, right? So switching the 𝘎𝘦𝘮𝘮𝘮𝘮 to siege mode, and switching this to siege mode, it still has better DPM, better accuracy, better aim time, and better tank traverse dispersion, not for moving dispersion. And you still have a horsepower per ton ratio advantage, but not the top speed advantage. Also, terrain resistance still sucks. You don't have as much health. You have better camo though, and a lack of a turret, which is a big deal. So if you feel like you really like the 𝘎𝘦𝘮𝘮𝘮𝘮, but don't want to play with the actual turret, you want to have more DPM out of it or better accuracy, then play this vehicle practically. I mean, there's so much gimmick with this thing, and you're going against your intuition, or going against your instinct of using non-siege mode. So I don't know how I feel about that, but hey, it might be a surprise hit. It might be a sleeper with this kind of stats, but alright, let's take a look at the other stats. So you already saw the mobility slightly, but let's take a look at the armor first. Health is alright for a pseudo sniper. Yeah, sniper tank to shore. 45 at the hull front, 30 at the hull sides, 20 at the rear. There are strips, so it's not exactly all 45s. It's only 45 for the upper half, and bottom half is not as well angled, so you could prevent with the 3 caliber rule, but so if we're using like a, let's see, 105. Oh, angling is a little bit different. So it is based on the larger size. So unless you're gun depressed and haul down, yeah, that's auto bounce, but 190 for the lower plate. Surprising, 190. Wow. Throw a few shots against medium tanks or light tanks with your lower plate. Alright. You have the commander cupola, which is like a box thing, and that's only 25 millimeters. So you get hit there, you get pinned. At least the mini turret is not a hitbox, so that's nice. Side armor is only 30. Yeah, nothing to talk about there. Don't side scrape ever. But oh, I thought the support for the mini turret doesn't count. It's actually counting as 25, so don't expose your starboard side of your vehicle, otherwise they could shoot at this little sponson supporting the mini turret. Or you could just shoot at your freaking vehicle altogether. But it's situational. You could bounce a few rounds, especially with 45mm than 40. So situationally, you could bounce a few, but stay at medium to long range, obviously. Don't stay close to heavy tanks or medium tanks. You'll get strafed. But mobility wise, weighs about 40 tons for an S tank. Holy crap, that's big boy. And horsepower per ton ratio is about 23.4, which is decent. And 65 kilometers per hour top speed is also pretty good. Reverse of 25, pretty good. Switching to siege mode takes 3 seconds. Switching out of it takes 3. So a little bit longer than the usual 1 second switching out. Or if I'm misinterpreting or misremembering that, but hull traverse is alright, about 30 degrees per second. And the terrain resistance sucks. That's more of a heavy medium tank at that point, especially for soft. So effective top speed for soft is kind of bad, but I think grousers would be a little bit better option. Couple that with the horsepower per ton ratio. You don't need turbocharger for this vehicle. Yeah, you don't really need it, but grousers might be not a bad choice for equipment. We'll talk about that later. Camo is 22.9, which is good. It is not as good as actual S tanks or even the Lada Stridsforden, but it's workable. It's good enough, especially you're moving about without going to siege mode. It's decent. And view range is 350. That is crap, but then again, all S tanks have crap view range, so nothing special. Just want to compare this thing with the S tank again and see how the actual camo work out. Slightly worse camo, slightly worse view range, and less health, but you have 5 more millimeter at the hull front, justifying the actual negation. Wow, I didn't know the actual S tanks weighs about 40 tons. I thought they were weighing about 30-ish tons. That goes to show me, I guess. Alright, yeah, let's talk equipments. So, like the S tanks, I think you will get rammer, obviously. Rammer definitely will help, even though you already have insane amounts of DPM. Rammer will definitely help. Second one, if you're not playing this thing in siege mode, then obviously something like enhanced gun lane drive or improved aiming would definitely be a good thing. So you're going with a unconventional, unorthodox loadout for actual S tank. S tanks usually will want something like a binoculars or camouflage net to be more stealthy in siege mode. But for this vehicle, you're moving about, so might as well put... I'm thinking maybe enhanced gun lane drive. And maybe additional grousers than actual turbocharger. You have enough horsepower per ton ratio. Turbocharger will help, but grousers will be a little bit better. Oh my gosh. Buff down to 2.4 seconds of aim time, which is not half bad. Let me switch to tanks.gg. I mean, I would want vents for the second slot, but Second slot, you could choose between scouting or survivability. But let's put rammer. Normally, I would put something like optics, like binoculars or Coda optics. But yeah, Coda optics is still pretty good when you think about it. This is a very big toss-up. It depends on your playstyle. It depends on if you're going to siege mode or not. Normally, I wouldn't recommend going to siege mode because you're cutting down the DPM dramatically for a buff to the aim time and dispersion, but it's already okay on paper. It's okay enough for you to work with. So theoretically, you don't have to go into siege mode to utilize the DPM, so you just move about like a normal tank destroyer. But that would negate your camouflage net, that would negate your binoculars, so might as well put, let's see how much grousers will do. Not bad. I mean, better traverse effectively, and better top speed going through the mud and medium terrains, but if you're sniping, then I think mobility stuff is kind of overrated. Kinda, I'm not directly quoting, don't quote me on that one. Maybe I'll just put vents and then put optics. Yeah, optics is kind of good for garbage. Maybe you wanted to have like the low exhaust stuff for your camo, but it's a very toss-up, up to you. So if you put like survivability, that helps out with the vents at the second slot. It's a funky vehicle, it really is. So let's talk field modifications for snipers. Let's use the actual page first before going to tanks.gg. So this one explains a little bit better with the diagrams. First one is no-brainer. Always choose better terrain resistance at the cost of hull traverse. If you have better terrain resistance, that gives you better effective hull traverse. So don't need the second one. Second one is a red herring. Choose the first one. Accuracy or aim time. Now, if you're not in siege mode, then this one I would say better aim time at the cost of accuracy. 0.36 is alright, I guess. It's not good, it's not bad, but if you're in siege mode, then this one's whatever. You do whatever the hell you want, but yeah, aim time for that DPM, I would say better aim time. You could get a little bit closer range with your armor with 45, but it's shady. So I would still say better aim time. Yeah, 2.6 for a 105mm is kinda long. Alright, next one is, this one is no-brainer too. Concealment after firing is always going to be garbage. Yeah, it's always going to be 4, 3, or 2, depending on the gun caliber. So with this, you get 0.3% better camo. Yeah, always choose better view range. Definitely better view range. No-brainer. And last one is DPM or aim circle size. So yeah, you already have enough DPM. You don't need more DPM. Get better accuracy. With this, you're cutting DPM by 100. Yeah, 100 and only 100. That's not even that much. But you're getting better accuracy by 0.3 or 0.01. Yeah, 0.36 to 0.35. Definitely go with better accuracy. You don't need that much DPM, especially with a rammer. Now, this is pertaining to non-siege mode gameplay. So, I don't know how I feel about this vehicle. Should you choose to not play the vehicle in siege mode? I mean, siege mode is good for those trying to escape you, and they're about like, what, 500 meters away? Yeah, going to siege mode, snipe them across the map, fine. But most of the time, with all the freaking corridor maps, and all the freaking town maps, then having better DPM is dramatically better, right? You don't need the accuracy. You're shooting at buildings anyways, so might as well use the better DPM to your advantage. But how much would I rate this vehicle? I mean, normally, or originally on the super test, I rated it 4.25 to 4.5 out of 10. Now, this was without the actual siege mode stats. So, I don't know. I mean, it is a very big gimmick with the non-siege mode S-Tank practically. It is also bigger than what you would expect. So, it's like with playing with a Kuhn's Panzer without a turret. But you have a lot more DPM and better accuracy at the cost of the turret. I mean, a note about the Kunstpanzer. I like the Kunstpanzer. It's like a hybrid of a Leopard 1 and a CS-59 for that matter. So you could DPM in non-siege mode. You could snipe in siege mode. There's a mixture of two. But the upside to this vehicle is you have a loader to switch between the shells. And you have a gunner too. And you have a turret. So would you trade all of that for more DPM and better accuracy in non-siege mode? Ooh, I would still say this vehicle is a gimmick. It's good on some aspects and not that good in others. For that high of a DPM, you have to expose yourself, therefore negating your camouflage all the time. It's like playing with a tortoise. You don't need camo with a tortoise. You're firing your gun all the time. You're being spotted, but you have the armor to take the hits. This thing doesn't. And it doesn't have the alpha to do rapid firing or large alpha hit and run. So normally when you're playing a high tier tank destroyer, you will want something of a 500 alpha to 600 alpha ballpark. You hit the vehicle and you run away or you hide. You don't constantly spam your shells and negate your camouflage. That's the way you play with your Waffenträger Panzer IVs, your Jagdtigers or whatever the hells. I mean, Jagdtigers are more assault gun practically, but Waffenträger Panzer IVs are playing like that, or Su-130 PMs. So you don't normally get a second chance or second shot off after your first shot unless you're devoted to sniping. But with that accuracy or that aim time, you're not really going to hit more than you would in siege mode. So it's a very difficult gimmick to master. I will still say it's better than what I originally rated it at 4.5 or so. I'll say a 5, maybe 5.5 if I'm generous, but it's a skill cap basically. It's not, oh, I press a button, you die, I win. No, it's not like that. So all the vehicles with special mechanics are higher in terms of skill cap, and this is certainly one of them, especially with the weird non-intuition or non-instinct based siege mode. So yeah, 5.5. I'll feel generous. But there you go, folks. The Kampfpanzer III Projekt 07 HK. Definitely a weird one, but if it's cheaper for token, then I don't know. It's a toss-up between this and the WZ58-2. So hopefully we don't have to spend actual money to get extra tokens for both tier 9s. But I doubt it. So as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.